Most men think rejection hurts because she said no. But the truth is, the pain started long before she even spoke. You've been carrying a belief that you're not enough, and her no just proved it right in your mind. That's why rejection lingers. It's not her words you fear, it's the belief they'll confirm. Once that belief takes hold, the cycle begins. Rejection kills your confidence. Low confidence makes you avoid women. Avoidance puts them on a pedestal, and now every no feels like falling from the top of a cliff. Until you break that cycle, every rejection will feel personal, even when it's not. Every human being carries two core fears: that they're not enough and that they won't be loved. They're part of being human. These fears don't vanish, they sit in the background, getting louder or quieter depending on what life throws at you. When a woman rejects you, the pain doesn't come from her words or actions. It comes from those fears being triggered. The inner voice says, "See, you're not enough. You're not wanted." It's like an open wound. You can cover it and pretend it's healed, but the moment it's touched, the pain is instant. Rejection doesn't create the wound. It exposes what was already there. This is where the feedback loop starts. The sting of rejection makes you pull back. The less you try, the less chance there is to feel that pain again. In the moment, that feels like self-protection. But each time you avoid the risk, you lose more confidence. When that confidence drops, the self-talk takes over. I'm not good looking enough. I'm too short. I'm not likable enough. You fill in the blanks. None of it is true, but every time you accept those thoughts, you give that voice in your head more permission to speak. And the easiest way to quiet it, at least temporarily, is to avoid situations where rejection could happen at all. For men who are deeply afraid of rejection, this pattern becomes their default. They crave women's approval, but are equally terrified of the pain that comes with being told no. So they stop engaging altogether. And in that space of inaction, something else takes root. They start building women up in their minds. Women become something rare, almost unattainable, a different category of human whose acceptance means everything. Because there's no regular interaction to balance those thoughts, imagination fills the gap. You project qualities onto women that make them seem beyond reach. Now you're not dealing with women as people, you're dealing with a fantasy version you've created. In that mindset, a yes feels like winning a prize, and a no feels like a public verdict on your value as a man. That's what people mean by putting women on a pedestal. It's not built by them, it's built by you. Compare that to men who aren't afraid of rejection. They still want to connect with women, but they don't hand over the power to decide their value. Rejection from a woman doesn't hit any harder than someone declining an offer for lunch. It's just a choice, not a statement about who they are. Dating apps make rejection worse. They create an artificial wall of safety where you never hear no directly, but you also never show your real qualities. Everything is reduced to a few photos and a short bio, judged in seconds. Approval is purely superficial. And when hundreds of swipes go unanswered, the silence lets your inner voice invent the reason. You're invisible, you're undesirable, you're nothing. No feedback, no reality check, just absence. And in that absence, the voice grows louder. The only way to lower the fear of rejection is to get used to talking to women in everyday situations, without expecting anything in return. Every time you do it, you prove to yourself that nothing bad happens just because you started a conversation. When you avoid women, your mind fills the gap with fantasy. You imagine they're out of your league, impossible to impress, or ready to reject you the second you speak. The more you avoid, the stronger that image becomes. Real-world interaction replaces the fantasy with reality. You see that women can be friendly, distracted, awkward, or even interested, just like anyone else. That takes away the special power you've been giving them in your head. The more you do this, the less weight each interaction carries. You stop seeing a hello as a test of your worth and start seeing it as a normal human exchange. That shift alone cuts the fear in half because you're no longer betting your value on every outcome. When you understand your value, rejection stops feeling like proof that no one will ever want you. Different people want different things. Some women like a man who's loud and outgoing. Others prefer someone calm and reserved. Some are drawn to ambition, others to a laid-back lifestyle. None of those preferences make one man better than another. They just mean you fit with some and not with others. Yet most men take rejection personally without ever stopping to think, she doesn't even know me. She's making a call based on a few seconds, a brief exchange, or even her own mood that day. That's not enough to judge your worth, unless you let the voice convince you it is. Or if she's rude or mean in that moment, that tells you more about her character than your value. Some women will act dismissive or abrasive towards a complete stranger, which only raises the question, why would you want to interact with someone like that in the first place? We take a woman's rejection as a measure of our value, but that measure is false. The next time you hear no, remind yourself, she's expressing her preference based on the tiny slice of you she's seen, not your real value. If she actually saw the full picture, your personality, your strengths, the way you show up for people, her answer could be completely different. That belief shifts the power away from the rejection and back to you.
Well, imagine walking up to a stranger and asking for a bite of their sandwich or yelling out an affirmation during a flight.
Have a lovely flight, everybody.
Woo! Here's to making memories.
Well, you're about to meet the Aussie who's made it his mission to get rejected every single day. Sam Witness from Perth purposely puts himself in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, it's all part of a new trend called rejection therapy, and it's gaining huge traction on social media. The benefits helping people face their fears and overcome anxiety. Sam joins us this morning. Great to have you with us. So, okay, what made you want to jump on this trend?
Well, I saw it from judging about 3-4 years ago, and when I left school, I was an anxious kid. I didn't know what to do with my life, and I have a social media account, and I thought I want to take this opportunity to get uncomfortable and I guess show other people that, yeah, challenging that fear and facing it head on is so valuable. And yeah, I've done it since April. It's been really scary, and I've grown so much from it as well.
Okay, explain to us what you actually do.
Well, I go up to strangers pretty much every day and ask them just a question where it's pretty much like a 99% chance you'd think that you get a no. Like asking to build a sandcastle on a beach with someone, challenge someone to a running race, call out coffees at a cafe for a while. And the whole point is like, yeah, to get so uncomfortable and like be vulnerable in front of a stranger and like face that fear of hearing no head on.
So what's it like when you get some success and they actually say, oh yeah, you can have a chip or you can build a sandcastle with me? Is that why you do it? Is that the great benefit here?
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of not, because like what I've realised is the process is so much more valuable than actually hearing like a yes.
This is the core of beating rejection in any area of life, and it works just as well with women. But here's the thing, we're not talking about hitting on women. The goal isn't to collect numbers or line up dates. The goal is to remove the fear of simply interacting with women by building up your social muscle. Think of it like the gym. You don't build strength by avoiding the weights. You build it by showing up and pushing past what's comfortable. This is no different. Every interaction is a rep. Every push outside your comfort zone makes the next one easier. Look for moments in everyday life to break your usual pattern. If you normally just nod at the girl at the gym, ask her how her workout's going. If you usually just order coffee from the same barista, add a quick comment about her latte art. If you see someone in the convenience store line, make a light observation about what they're buying. It's not about flirting, it's about training yourself to initiate instead of avoid. You start with women you're not putting on a pedestal, women you're not attracted to, or women who are clearly unavailable. These are your warm-up sets. Once you're comfortable there, you raise the stakes. Hold eye contact a little longer, extend the conversation, interact with women you are attracted to. The trick is to keep inching forward. Every time you catch yourself hesitating, that's the moment you need to act. Avoidance only cements the fear and gives your inner voice the final word. But every time you push through, you take some of its power back. Commit to doing this every day for the next 100 days. One interaction, each time adding a little more than before. By the end, the fear will be smaller, your confidence will be bigger, and rejection will have lost its grip on you. If you found this video insightful, you might like another one on a similar topic. Click on the thumbnail to watch or keep exploring. Also, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel.